Hey everybody, welcome to another Paint the Edge Up, where I teach you to make a cool painting in about an hour and get a little drunk doing it. My name is Joel. I'm going to walk you through step by step how to make a painting, and today we are painting this right here. I call it Heart of the Jungle, just because I had to make up some kind of name. But it's kind of, I like the colors of this. It's kind of a nice little purple and greens and everything with a little heart shape. You know, now you could do other shapes there if you'd like. Heart was just kind of what I went with, but that's what we're going to do today. If you haven't already, like, share, follow, subscribe, upvote, share, tweet, all the things. Search Paint the Edge Off and you'll find me on most things. Also, as I do with all my classes, I'm going to give away a free giveaway painting. Okay, all I got to do is correctly answer my completely subjective trivia question first in the comments, and I will send you a free painting of your choosing, okay? So, follow along, and before we get started, I'm going to tell you what you're going to need for this painting, okay? So, first thing you're going to need is a canvas. Now, I use 16 by 20 inch canvases. You can use different sizes. Just that's what my measurements are going to be for, okay? So, this is our canvas we're going to use. You're going to want some kind of easel. I've also got paper towels. Paper towels are good to wipe stuff up. You're going to want some kind of water cup to mix in with your paint. This is acrylic paint, so water is your medium, okay? It's not oil paint. If it was oil would be your medium. But this is acrylic paint, so we want a water cup. We'll wash our brushes out and to leave our brushes in so they don't get all dried out. I've got paper plates for my palette. You can use whatever you want. I just like paper plates because I like to eat off of them, you know. Once that paint dries, you can eat right off of them, okay? So I've also have a blow dryer. This helps me dry my painting, get it dry nice and fast. I've got whiskey. Okay, my tools. Here's what I'm going to use. I always have my big flat brush. I have my medium flat brush. I have my medium round brush and my small round brush, okay? So those are my four brushes I'm going to have. Take those, put them bristle down in that water cup, and leave them in there anytime you're not using them. I've also got a couple pieces of chalk. This is just regular sidewalk chalk. A few different colors, but this is just regular sidewalk chalk. I have a couple different colors because, you know, sometimes they show up a little better depending on what color the background is. That's why I have a couple different colors. Okay, paint colors. We have white. We have black. We have a phthalo blue. We have purple, also known as a violet. That's the industry term. And then I've got an orangish yellow. It's called orange yellow. You know, a deep yellow would work too, or just take some red and mix with yellow and make your own orange yellow. I've got light yellow. Okay, so there's all my colors. And yeah, I think that's everything we need. So with that being said, let's take a shot here. Cheers, everybody, and let's paint the edge off. Okay, let's go and get our shot counter going. Now, I took a couple before the show. I'm just going to count that I took one, okay? All right, cheers. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to start right here with our purple background, and then we're going to kind of work our way down. So we're going to start with a light purple. So let's take our plate, let's get some purple, and let's get some white. Boom, purple and white. I need to turn my brightness down. I can always, oh, you can see it there. Okay, let's take our big brush out of our water cup, tap it off a little bit there, and we're going to mix up a little purple and white. Now, you don't need a ton of white, honestly. This purple, just a little touch of white really lightens it up. But let's start by stirring our water in with our purple paint. Okay, we want our water to always be mixed in with our paint, or else you get these drips. Okay, and I'm going to take some white here. Let's mix up a lot of this because we're going to fill up a lot of space. And we're going to start with our lightest purple. So I'm going to go ahead and take a good chunk of white, make it nice and light. And I want to mix up a bunch, okay? Okay. There we go. Now, once we get this, we're going to start in the middle. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to make a little dot. I kind of like to find just kind of right down the middle. And, you know, maybe about 2/3 of the way up or 3/4, somewhere in there. I'm going to make a little dot. This is going to be basically where my moon's going to be, okay? I'm going to say that's where my moon's going to be, and I'm going to start there, okay? Now, what I want to do is I'm going to imagine a big circle that goes outside, maybe just right outside the edges of your canvas here, and go, oh, yes. I want to make a little line that's kind of a basic stopping point. Okay, now make this big circle. All right, make that right there. And then I'm just going to start painting her in, okay? There we go, start painting her in. All right, and away we go. So I'm going to start filling this up. I like to go in these circle motions and kind of work my way out. Parentheses. Think about you're just painting parentheses. Okay? Or smiley faces and sad faces. And there we go. Hey, cheers. All right, we got Purdy in here. Purdy's cracking open an IPA. Not a big IPA person myself. I'm more of a straight liquor person, you know? Skip the foreplay. You know, I'm not drinking to have fun or the taste. I'm drinking to get hammered. And that's why psychologists say I'm an alcoholic. Hey, let's keep painting. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of, once we get this all, we want this to be nice and a nice thick layer of purple because we want this to be nice and wet and stay wet for a minute because we're going to mix some blue in with it. Okay, here in a minute I will put up the trivia question for this week. Remember, if you answer it correctly, I'll give you one of my paintings. I have too many paintings. I don't know. I just like doing this, but then I end up with all these extra paintings. So, I'm going to pass the savings on to you. Okay, so now we've got this all nice and light purple. Now we want to do, so we want to grab our phthalo blue, okay? A little phthalo blue on our plate. And let's take some of that. Let's get some of this blue. I'm not gonna wash my brush out. I'm gonna let this mix in as we go. So I'm just gonna take some blue and I'm gonna start right on top of my purple here. So I want this to mix in. I want this to kind of lighten up the blue a little bit. And I'm just gonna kind of work my way down. Now again, I want to make sure I'm going in a little circle. All right, now once I get that kind of in there, I might take a paper towel and dry my brush off, you know? Dry it off. And then I'm going to go back and try to blend this in. Okay, now what will happen, the reason I dry that off is because sometimes you'll have a little too much paint. If you have too much paint, it just keeps spreading and spreading. And every so often I kind of, when I'm just blending two wet colors together, I'll keep wiping my brush off so I have kind of a dry brush. Oh, look, a nice little blend. Okay, someone asked if drinking dark liquor makes me mean. He said he used to drink dark liquor, but he wants to know if it makes me mean. You know, it made me mean when I was an unhappy person. When I was like in my early 20s, mid 20s. I was a real butthole back then, I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was hilarious when I was drunk to do stupid shit. Like, one thing I would do is I would like pretend to be mad at somebody, and in my mind it was hilarious. But to everyone else, I was mad at them. And a lot of misunderstandings. I would often tell people, they'd see me, like, oh man, I saw you last night. I was like, oh, you did? And like, yeah, I think you were blackout. And I was like, dude, next time you see that guy, that blackout Joel, tell him to stop drinking. But blackout Joel never listened. Okay, we've got our background. By the way, I just added more blue. Just made it get darker towards the bottom. Now let's go ahead and paint our sides and our top edge. And then I'll put the trivia question up. We'll blow dry our painting, get it nice and dry for the next step. Okay, I would say that it doesn't make me mean anymore at all. Like, you know, I don't know. I'm kind of weird because now when I drink, I don't know. I'm actually kind of productive. I'll like get blackout hammered on whiskey or something and wake up the next day and be like, who did all my laundry? I'm like, oh yeah, I did. But that's why I'll do productive stuff, but be really messy about it. Like, if I fold my laundry, I'll fold my laundry, but then it's like everything's folded all sloppy and in the wrong place. But I did do it. That's how my girlfriend gets me to do stuff. When I'm drunk, I'll do anything. She's like, hey, will you mow the lawn? I'm like, let's do it, you know, and I just hop in there. Something about when I'm drunk, I'll just kind of do anything, you know? So you can kind of use that to good if you're like, hey, do the dishes. I'm like, let's do it. And I'm all over the dishes when I'm drunk. Okay, let's see. We got our background painted in. Okay, let's introduce the old trivia question today, which is pancakes, waffles, French toast, I'm not really a sweets person, cinnamon rolls, Pop-Tarts, breakfast for dinner, or lasagna. All right? That's your trivia question for today. Let's move that up. Oh, whoops. Oh, that's not right. Let's move the trivia question. I'm so bad at this. There we go. There we go. A little higher. Looks a little better right there. Okay, let's blow dry our painting. I'm going to take a shot. If anybody wants to take a guess at the trivia, not really a question, but it's trivia. Okay, let's get ourselves another shot going. And let's see. I watched Squid Games this week. Got a lot to say about that. Not a lot of positive things, I'll be honest. It was interesting. We'll get into it. Okay, we got, somebody says French toast. I want some fucking French toast. Ugh. Let's see. Have you all watched, yeah, basically. Yes. What's the best breakfast? That's the question, kind of. And if you haven't had lasagna for breakfast, you're missing out. Okay, have y'all watched Squid Games? Like to know. You know, the question is pancakes, waffles, French toast. I'm not really a sweets person. Cinnamon rolls, Pop-Tarts, breakfast for dinner, or lasagna. Okay? Okay, yeah, let's talk about Squid Game, Colin. Alright. I don't know. Everyone's going crazy about it. They're telling me you gotta watch this show. It's so awesome. So I start watching it, and breakfast burrito. That's good answer. Okay. I start watching it, and I'm gonna be honest, the acting is horrible. I mean, so bad. And I watched it dubbed, and then I couldn't take that, and I watched the subtitles, and the voices were better. But after an episode or two, I'm like, I want to be able to watch the show, and I'm a slow reader. So I went back to dubbed. Even, it doesn't matter, subtitle or dubbed. The acting is horrible. Just terrible. Like, just so over the top, it's like a cartoon. Which, it's really like an anime show. Anyway, we'll get back to that in a second. Ow, gotta kick my toe! Ow. Ooh, is the new Dave Chappelle stand-up? Ooh, I want to watch that. Okay, let's come back to this. Okay, Squid Game's got a lot to say about it. Okay, we'll come back. And I'm curious what you guys think if you've seen it. Oh, you know what? I didn't count my shot. Let's count our shot. Yeah, the dub is really hard to watch. I mean, the voice acting is horrible, but the actual acting is terrible too. It's so cartoony, and that's why I wonder, there has to be something culturally I'm missing where this is, if it's just, I think it's like they're big on soap operas in Korea. Maybe that's why, but then there's some kind of cartoony aspect about it that's like, I don't know why they talk so over the top, but whatever. Okay, let's come back to that. Okay, let's get to our painting. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my heart shape here. Now, let's see what it shows. I'm going to start with, okay, we can see that. Okay, so let's start in the middle. Here's going to be, we'll say, let's go ahead and draw our moon in. I just kind of, now if you got something to trace, you want to just trace a circle, that's probably the easiest way. I just kind of go round and round until I get a good circle. Whatever, close enough, right? Okay. Now let's make a heart shape around that. Now remember, if you make a mistake, this shot comes off with water or spit. Okay, but let's go ahead and make a heart shape. Alright, we'll start with that. Okay, now that's the first thing we want to do. Circle in the middle, heart around it, okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to draw in where our trees are. And we're also going to draw in where some of our foliage is, okay? Foliage. It's one of my favorite words, foliage. Okay, so let's start with the big main tree that comes to make this hard, okay? It's the easiest one to start with. Let's go here and let's just kind of make this come down. I'm just going to let that fade to the right. Now it looks like we have a balloon, a heart-shaped balloon right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's, this tree is going to have kind of these two little limbs. Now this is going to be, actually this heart's going to be made up of different trees. Let's go ahead and extend that out. There's one tree limb, right? Okay, now this one's going to go up, and right about where it curves, it's going to break off. Okay, and let's just erase that a little bit. So now we got a little bump here. Okay, this is going to be where that tree limb breaks off. Okay, now this one right here, we're going to extend that down. All right, and this is going to make up, this is going to be the second tree that makes up that little part there. And you know, up here, it's going to go up. The main thing is whenever you're making tree limbs, you want it to come off at an angle, not straight out. Okay, you don't want it to come out like that. Oh, I think my paint's still a little wet there. Okay, let's do it right here. You don't want a tree limb to come out like that. You want it to come out like that. Okay, you want it to come out at an angle. Even if it curves back really hard, you want it to come out at some kind of curved angle, okay? Okay, enough of that. Okay, over here we got this kind of set up, but now let's go ahead and put in where this tree limb's going to come from. This tree limb's going to come from over here. Let's just drag this straight down, and then we'll have this, make another. These are the two main splits there in that tree. We got one that goes straight up, and one that kind of comes over here. All right. Now, what's really going to happen here is this limb's going to go up, right? After I get these main tree limbs in, I could make, I'm going to make other limbs that just kind of come in, not sporadically, but kind of spaced out where I'd like them. Okay, so I'm going to put one there. Let's put one just kind of going up there. Okay, and then we'll put, some little ones coming off. This is the end of this limb. Okay, let's make another one that kind of comes across, crosses this tree here. And we'll make some little, some of that. Okay, now let's put some tree limbs coming off this. Again, I kind of I angle it in there. I'm going to kind of curve it in at an angle. So on and so forth. Okay, let's put another big one right here. This is our biggest tree. It's the closest to us, so we're going to see more of that, right? Okay, now this one kind of looks like an antler. All the things are coming up. Let's make one that comes down there, okay? Okay, here's our big tree here. Now this one we can have, let's put another little limb right here. There's kind of a little short guy there. All right, let's put another one that comes off the side here. Up here, let's go ahead and just kind of put some in. This is kind of the top of the tree, so let's just kind of put some all coming out. Okay, and there's the top of that tree, and now and so on and so forth. So at the tops of these, I'm going to add some more limbs, kind of some little small limbs that come out there. We want a couple that comes off of that one, maybe one coming in off there. Basically, wherever you feel like. Okay, now once we got those big trees in, we can add in some smaller ones maybe. I really want to see one here. Ultimately, I'm just going to add these in later, but it might be helpful. I think I'm going to stop here because what I'm going to do next, it's going to be a lot of drawing for a minute. I'm going to take my yellow chalk, okay? And what I want to do next is drawing where I'm going to put my patches of foliage there. So, let's see. Hey, Jill, does your girlfriend paint with you sometimes, or as good a painter as you? No, she doesn't paint with me, and she's certainly not as good of a painter as me. How dare you even suggest that? No, she hasn't painted with me, but I've told her, I keep telling her. I don't know, I think she's shy. Oh, yeah, that's funny. Okay, cheers. Okay, I got to get through this little bit of instruction here. Okay, so we've made up a lot of this part with tree limbs, but there's certain parts like up here. This isn't really a tree limb right here. This is going to be actually a piece of foliage. So right here, I'm going to make this into a little piece of foliage. Okay, that's what that is. Now, I don't know if the yellow and blue are going to show up super well in the camera, but irregardlessly, that's what we're going to do, okay? And let's put another little foliage right there. Okay, let's put, we're going to put a little bit of foliage here. So, as you notice, everything's kind of lining up with the shape of this heart, okay? That's the only trick, really, okay? So, here we go. Right, and we'll just kind of keep adding some of these in, just kind of. And we're going to start with our big spots. We might add more later. Maybe there's a big chunk right there. We want a big chunk up here. Okay, so once we kind of get all these spots in, you know, we can kind of go ahead and add in a good big chunk there. All right, maybe a big chunk coming in here. But remember, nothing inside the heart. That's really the only main thing to know. Okay. Now, after that, you know, then we can kind of start. Let's go ahead and make a little line like so. This is going to be kind of like, you know, the floor, or the ground, the space in the back. Okay. And then after that, you know, we can go ahead and draw in maybe some other little patches. I think once we start painting, we can kind of add in some of those green foliage spots as we go, okay? All right. So that's all the instruction there for that. I know that looks confusing once you get it all drawn in, but we're going to start with the green foliage, and then we'll move on to the trees. And cheers. So there we go. All right. Okay, so I'm going to mix up some green. That's blue and yellow. Okay. Let's take some yellow. Oh, count my shot. Okay, let's take some yellow. I got some blue on my other plate, so I'm just going to use that. I'm going to get a little touch of black just way down here. Just get a little bit of black on there. We'll use that later. Okay, let's take our... I'm going to take my... sheesh. I'm going to use my... You could use your round or your flat here. I think I'm going to use my flat brush. I like my... No, I'm going to use my round. I always use the flat brush. Okay, here's my plate. Let's take a big scoop of my blue here. Take that on there and mix those together. Make a nice green. I know this doesn't have to be super light green, just kind of a nice medium green, so just a little bit of yellow, or just a normal amount of yellow, not a crazy amount of yellow. A lot of times, you know, you'll use a lot of yellow because yellow isn't quite as strong of a color as blue and red. So typically when you're mixing colors, you'll end up using a lot more yellow. If you try to make like a lime green, you're going to add just a drop of blue to a whole shit ton of yellow. Yeah. Oh, okay. Hey. Okay. Let's take some of our green. I'm going to mix up a lot because we're going to fill in a lot here. Okay. Let's take our green and let's start filling in some of these, you know, some of these little foliage spots. I'm just going to, you know, just wiggle my hand. Really, whatever happens. Just try to... One thing I'm going to be kind of careful about is around the heart shape. Okay. Other than that, I'm just going to start filling this sucker in. Oh, excuse me. Now, yes, I am painting over some of my drawing. Yes, you're going to paint over some of the stuff you drew, okay? Get over it, all right? What I say is get over it. Get the fuck over it. Oh, my God. Whiners. Okay, there's that. Okay, let's go ahead and fill this little doodad in. You will see. Going where you're gonna get there on concrete. Now, another thing you might like to do is take your brush and kind of dab. Dab. Okay, but take your brushes kind of like, really start playing with the angle of your brush, the texture. You really start just kind of like dabbing around it, and it just kind of looks like extra leaves floating around. You know, so, you know, play with that a little bit. Get her, or don't, okay? Fine, don't if you don't want to. I don't care. I don't care what you do. And I'll see you. Handful of dead presidents. Here we go. Okay, yeah, back to Squid Games. Okay, so yeah. Oh, okay. Is it interesting? Yeah, it is interesting. It's very interesting, you know, idea. Like, you like to see them play the games and go through the effed up S that they go through. I'm not going to spoil anything, really, okay? So don't worry. But I will say the whole rest of the show where you have to go through listening to these freaking people, I'm just like, I was just like, I don't like this main character. Okay, another thing. Okay, tell me what you guys think about this. In the show, the main character is like this deadbeat dad who has like a gambling problem. In the first episode, he's just like losing a ton of money at the horse tracks and shit. And he's divorced. He has a daughter. And the mother is remarried to she's got a stepdad, and typical, you know, he gets to see her when he can see her, but he's kind of a piece of shit, so he never gets to see her. And he shouldn't. He's a piece of shit. You know, he shouldn't have custody of her. And, you know, he sees her, whatever, and he's all like, I want you to blah, 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 I want to see you more. And then, like, at one point in the episode, at one of the episodes, they're like, so the guy lives with his mom, and his mom is like, they're moving to America. You won't be able to see her that much. But, you know, if you make enough money, you could get custody. And I'm like, I don't want him to get custody of her. I don't want him to, like, cheat the system and get... She's going to be way better off with her mom and this new stepdad. Why would I be rooting for him to, like, get custody of his daughter? He's a turd, you know? Like, even if he is a good person or whatever at heart, like, he is a kid's life. Wouldn't you be happier if he, you know, was like, okay, I've filled all this stuff and I'm going to add some more extra spots in here. Wouldn't you be more like, you know, maybe you should, you know, if you really cared about the daughter, you'd be like, no, you're going to have a better life with these people, you know, I'm not going to get in the way of that. I just thought that was hilarious. It's like, oh, but you know what? You could, like this is another reason she's playing the Squid Games, and it's almost like, okay, so this is like a Breaking Bad situation. You're like an anti-hero or something. So first of all, I don't like the characters. Characters are bad. Like, they're not likable. Okay, I think the girl connect the most with the girl who's like got the resting bitch face with like she just always looks pissed off, you know, the pickpocket girl. I feel like I was her the whole time, where I was just like annoyed with everybody and like didn't trust anyone. Okay, let's make a dark green. Let's add some more blue, a little bit of black. Take a little touch of black. But the games were cool. The cop infiltrating the whole system, that was cool. I liked that. It was just all the in-between parts, honestly, with all the people in their bunks and all the drama. I'm just like, I don't care about this. Like, I could care less what the drama is here. Okay, now I'm going to take this dark green. I'm just going to kind of sprinkle this in, putting it more around the bottom parts of my little foliage patches here. Patches of foliage. Alright. We're just going to kind of drag that through, or you're going to kind of just put that through there. Now these are leaves, okay? So, you can really got a lot of freedom here. Just kind of whatever kind of texture or whatever texture you start getting, I would just go with that, okay? However you want to paint your leaves, or you paint your leaves that way, okay? You really get away with a lot. It's like painting clouds, You paint clouds, no one can be like, oh, the clouds would actually be shaded like this. There's so many different kinds of clouds. You can really get away with whatever you want. Don't listen to the haters. You paint your tree. You paint your foliage however you want to paint your foliage, okay? That's what I say. I also say that foliage is my favorite word, maybe. I don't know why. Foliage just sounds good. Foliage. Foliage. It's like poetry. What's aesthetic but for sound? There's probably a really obvious answer to this, and I'm too stupid to think of it, but like, it's like got an aesthetic quality. It's got a good sound to it, foliage. Very pleasing to the ear. Alright, so we're putting some shadows. I'm imagining this is a second patch behind this patch. So I put a little shadow here, but I stop where I imagine the top of this little patch is. And then maybe I'll sprinkle a little bit more into this doodad. Okay, hey, oh, here's a little patch of foliage. Oh. Zoom, zoom. Zoom, zoom. Okay, we've almost got... Okay, now we're going to add a lot of this down here at the bottom, just kind of random. I would honestly just start randomly slapping that shit in there. Alright, that's my professional opinion there. Slap that shit in there. Okay, I'm running out of green, so let's mix up some more here. Yellow, blue. Don't be stingy on the blue. And add a little drop of black, and that's going to make our dark green. To do the chosen. All in all, Squid Games is interesting. It's an anime. I mean, it felt like an anime cartoon that live actors were acting in, which is cool. I have no problem with it. It was just watching the acting. Honestly, that first whole episode, I had to turn it off after 30 minutes. I'm just like, I hate this guy. I hate your acting. I hate everything about you. Just get to the part where you play the games and people die, Like, it's like Hunger Games, kind of. Okay, now I've got all my dark spots in. Let's get a little more light green. Maybe we can kind of go back and some of those hard edges that I'm seeing. I like to leave some hard edges, but maybe I can go back and kind of dab some in. That'll kind of give it a little bit more, realistic effect there. If there's somewhere there's a little hard edge, you want to be so hard, go back with that light green and kind of dab on top of it. Maybe just mess up that top edge. Okay, and maybe, add a little bit of light green. I'm going to take a little touch, a little bit more yellowy green here. And maybe I'll put a little bit of that, here and there. Maybe a little bit there. Maybe a little bit, maybe this is a good, nice, light one. Again, maybe I'll dab some in. But whatever you do, add some of that in there, just here and there. Don't go crazy with the light color. Because this is kind of a darker, it's a nighttime setting. So, if you want some highlights there. But for the most part, I'm just going to dab this in. Ooh, right here's a good spot for some light green. You know what? I kind of fudged that up. Let's take some of the dark color right there. Ooh, there we go. And then we'll kind of... Now right in here, I want to put some of this light color. Ooh, there we go. Maybe I'll take some of this light color right at the top of my foliage. Lost in thought. Here we go. Lost in your... Okay, so that's most. There we go. There's most of the foliage. Now let's dry that, and we will continue on. I'll put the trivia question back up for everybody, and take a shot, and we'll keep going. Okay. So again, trivia question today: A, pancakes; B, waffles; C, French toast; D, I'm not a sweets person; E, cinnamon rolls; F, Pop-Tarts; G, breakfast for dinner; or H, lasagna. Okay, the question is, I don't know, what's the best morning sweet thing to eat? I don't really, I think the question's obvious. Okay, let's take us another shot, and once this is dry, we'll paint some leaves in. Okay, I will say it was an interesting show, but it was almost predictable in a way. By the end, you're like, I know it's gonna happen, kind of, basically, like, again, don't want to ruin it, but to me, it seemed a little overhyped. Like, I'm kind of shocked that it's as popular as it is right now. Maybe people just need to watch more anime. I don't know. Oh, sheesh. You know what I should be doing right now? Painting that moon in. Okay. Okay, trivia question coming down. Count my shots. Okay, let's paint our moon in. I'm going to take my small flat brush. Take your small flat brush there. Tap it off so you feel fancy. Let's get some white and some yellow and some orange yellow. Yellow. Orange yellow. Ugh. Let's dry it over. I haven't used this color in so long. There we go. Orange yellow and some white. Okay, let's take our small flat brush here. Let's get some of this orange yellow. We're going to start with this. This will be the first layer. We're going to fill this in first. Then we'll go back with our light yellow and we'll kind of put that on top. All right, let's see. Bike Trip Happy Smile, how are you? Bike Trip Happy Smile, welcome to the stream. Have you watched Squid Games? 'Cause I've been talking about Squid Games a lot. And I'm going to say it was cool. I liked it, but kind of shocked it's as popular as it is. Like, the acting I thought was really annoying, but I thought it was terrible. It was just, I like anime. It was basically like watching an anime cartoon with real actors, but there's just so much of the show that took so long that I'm like, I don't care about these characters. Just show them in the games. Like, you can tell it's just them trying to eat up time, like make this, just so much of that, just dragging crap out in anime. That's like, I'll go back. Oh no, I messed up my circle a little bit. Alright, let's just go. Alright, now this is the dangerous part of doing circles, is you end up, the more you go back over it, the bigger and bigger your circle gets. I will say though, okay, you responded with pictures that I can't see them that well. Looks like a girl with her hand up like this and a guy, is it flipping me off? Maybe that's not what it is, I don't know. I can't see, it looks like just a hand, but it looks like, yeah, is it a middle finger? I can't see, or maybe it's in the Apple logo. But yeah, I thought Squid Games was cool. So much of the anime stuff, it's like Dragon Ball Z. When I was a kid, I loved Dragon Ball Z, but it was like, how often were you like, just get to the fight scene, man. This is what I'm watching the show for. I don't care about your whatever. It's not even really relevant to anything that's happening. So those are my only qualms with Squid Game. But it was cool. Okay, back to blow drying my painting. I'm going to take a shot. And I'll put the trivia question back up. Bike Trip Happy Smile. If you want to win a free painting, here's the trivia question for today. Just give me your answer here. We've got A, pancakes, B, waffles, C, French toast, D, I'm not really a sweets person. E, cinnamon roll. F, Pop-Tarts. G, breakfast for dinner. Or H, lasagna. If you want to win a free painting, give it a guess. There's no risk for guessing wrong. Seven shots. I've got to get to double digits. Okay, let's see. This is actually starting to get pretty dry. It looks a little wet, but I think maybe that's a little wet. Most of this is getting pretty dry, though. Okay. Bike trip, happy smile, only responds in pictures. Okay. Like your style. Okay, so we've got the foliage in. Once this gets dry, we're going to paint our trees in next. Then we'll go back, we'll do a little bit more on the moon in the background. You put Nav, and it looks like a crying potato, or unhappy potato. Or maybe a beet. Okay. I'll keep that in mind, alright? I'll try to do whatever I can. I'll just keep that in mind. Try to do whatever I can do. Okay, let's take some black paint here, and we're going to paint on our trees. So let's get a little bit of black paint on our plate. Okay, let's take our small flat brush. Where did I put my flat brush? Oh, it's right here. Okay, let's make sure we wash it out really good, because this is going to be black. If there's any white or other colors in there, it might probably won't affect the black too much, but I don't know if I can't remember if I had some white in there with that light green or what I use this brush for. Okay, let's get some black paint now. Again, we want to stir our water with that black paint. Get that water all mixed in with your paint so it doesn't drip. Got a nice, kind of nice viscosity. Alright. So once I stir my brush in there, I want to make skinny lines. So again, you know, I'm going to take my brush. I want to make skinny lines. So I'm going to scrape it off on the side. That gets my brush nice and flat. Then when I get my paint, I'm going to lay it down, pull it through, flip it over, pull it through. Oh, okay. Tony says breakfast for dinner is the Cheez-It. What? Okay. Now what I want to do is I'm going to paint in my my trees. Now we've covered a lot of this up, but just kind of got to go back. If you want, you can redraw them in with chalk right back over your lines. You know, you can do that if you want. I'm going to go for it though. Okay, so I'm just going to start with. I know this guy's there. I know that little tree doodad's there. I'm saying doodad a lot today. Oh, hey, there's my cap to that. Tony, how are you? So, Tony, is your name Tony? Is that a play on, like, Tony? Like the name Tony? Or do you just like toes and knees? I went to the post office and the lady's like, Tony? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know, it's an online name or something. And they're like, is that some kind of play on the name Tony? And I'm like, oh, yeah, probably. I never thought of that. But yeah, put that in the mail today, Tony. Yeah, I never thought of that. I'm not the brightest person. Okay, so here's one tree. Now what I want to do mainly is I'm going to start thin when I start painting these in. Okay, so again, I'm going to drag this as lightly as possible. So I have the skinniest line I can get. Okay, and then as I go, I'm just going to go over it and just press down a little harder as I go down so I'm getting thicker lines. There we go. Okay, and then again, from there, I'm just going to add in, you know, some branches here. Let's see, there's a branch. Okay, so the main thing here is keep adding water. Black paint tends to be really thick, really dry. keep adding water to that so it's flows a little easier. And again, every so often, scrape your paint off here a little bit so you got a little bit flatter, a little bit, not as much of a blob for a brush, okay? Okay, got it? Good. Tony, have you watched Squid Games? I want to talk about it. I just finished the whole thing. Phone down. Oh, sheesh, that was a mistake. Oh, I kind of wiped it off. Nice. Beer, beer, beer. Is it a cat? Ain't a cat. Okay. Make you put your phone down. You ain't gonna text nobody when you're with me. I can make you put your phone down. Okay, let's see. I know there's a big branch here. So now I'm gonna go back with green over some of these spots, Okay, yeah, so this is what I was saying to other people earlier, Tony. I know, I feel like I'm repeating myself now. If someone's been watching this whole thing, I'm sorry. But I was telling people I thought it was cool. It's basically like watching an anime show, Like, it was cool to see them play the games and this crazy, psychotic, thing they're in. Like, that's interesting. It's kind of like a horror setting. But the acting was awful, just terrible. And I watched it dubbed and then subtitled, and then I wanted to keep up with it, so I went back to dubbed. And I pretty much mainly watched it because my friends were telling me I had to watch it, so I'm like, and I didn't like it at first. The first 30 minutes of the first episode, I turned it off. I couldn't, it was so bad. I mean, the acting is horrible. But I watched the whole thing just to say that I watched it, just to formulate my own opinion. And yeah, it wasn't, the acting's awful. Again, the whole games they're playing, that's interesting. I think, okay, that was kind of a weird branch right there. But regardless, I'm kind of just, make these branches up here. I'm just continuing making these branches. I'm going to make them curve into your tree, and wherever they curve in, it should be thicker. Like, it shouldn't be thinner here than it is here. It should always be getting thicker as it goes down. I mean, I liked subtitles better because the voice acting was so bad, but it's not like the actual acting was really any better. I mean, I guess I like dubbed because I just suck at reading, I'm a terrible reader. But either way, I mean, it didn't really make much of a difference to me. Subtitles was probably better. It wasn't as, their voices weren't as awful. The dubbed was just so bad, so bad. The voice actors in those dubbed ones, of course, and I don't blame them. I mean, it's probably hard to find people who can speak Korean and American and English, and whatever. But yeah, my main thing with it was that the main character sucks. I don't like I wasn't rooting for him. Like, at one point, I was saying this earlier, I was like, at one point, he's like this, piece of shit dad who's has a gambling problem. This is all in I'm not ruining anything. This is all in the first episode. And he's has a daughter with this lady. Well, she's remarried to to this guy who's not a piece of shit. And so he sees his daughter once in a while, and then he finds out his daughter's gonna move to America with her, new dad and mom. And the main character lives with his mom. He's a turd, and so the mom's like, if you make enough money, you can get custody of her. And I'm like, I don't want this guy to have custody of her. Why would you be rooting for him to, obviously what's best for this little girl is to live with a healthy family, which is the mom and the stepdad. It even says in there when he's talking to his ex-wife, she's like, you weren't even there for the birth. He wasn't even there for the birth. And it makes some ominous, thing about, well, there was a guy at work, I had to be there. He died. I had to be there to help him. And I'm like, it never goes into detail about what he's talking about. But he gives some excuse why he wasn't at his daughter's birth. Regardless, you're just Yeah, it's probably best if, even if he does care for his daughter and great person, he doesn't have it together. He shouldn't be a dad. Or at least, you gotta think about what's better for the girl, the daughter. She's gonna be better off with her family. The dad who actually has his shit together. The whole thing was just like, am I supposed to be rooting for this guy? Because I don't like him. It was just too cartoony for me. Again, the actual parts where they're playing these crazy fucked up games, that was interesting. I liked that part. If it was just that, but that's how anime is. Like, they try to make everything into a soap opera, and it's like, I don't care about these characters. Just give me the freaking action and the parts I'm here to watch. But they're like, no, let's drag this out into 8,000 episodes. That's my problem with it. I don't know. What did you think of it? Have you watched it all? Has anyone else watched it? I want to talk about this, but seems like no one's really watched the whole thing. Okay, I'm still adding in freaking branches. It takes forever. Let's take a shot. Yeah, if you're fast at reading, I would do subtitles. I'm just very stupid. I'm just bad at reading. I'm more of a visual learner. Words and numbers and not good at. Okay, now once I've got my main stuff in here, I'm gonna add some other little trees. Okay, let's add some little. Watch out! Oh, a little tree there. Okay, we're just gonna add some branches coming in. Okay. Let's add. Now these are gonna crisscross. Let's just add one in here. Let's add one there. Okay, in each one of these, I'll just add a few little branches coming off of those. Now again, I'm going to go back over this with more green later, and I'll kind of cover up trees that I don't like or areas to make it look more realistic. But right now, I just want to put in some extra little treesies. Come on, pretty pink, pretty pink. Okay, and there's some areas, like I know I want this to be way in the background, so I'm going to try not to go over this. Maybe I'll just put a little line, a little faint line in there. Maybe here I'll put, another little bigger line. Pretty pink. But either way, they're behind this guy, or girl foliage. However you imagine your foliage. Okay. But I'm going to put some more in. Excuse me. It's kind of up to you how much you want to add. I wouldn't go crazy with it, or go crazy with it. Actually, do whatever you want. Maybe I'm wrong. Don't you feel like most people, that's the main problem with society, is everyone thinks they're fucking right? That used to be me for a long time. I always think I was a know-it-all. And then at one point in my life I go, maybe I'm not right about everything, and I'm actually wrong about shit all the time. And since I've thought about that, I've realized that I am wrong all the time. And it's kind of freeing just to, acknowledge that and say, oh shit, I'm wrong all the time. It's okay if I'm wrong. It's okay if I'm not right about everything. What's up with that? Everyone has to be right all the time. I don't know why I felt that way either when I was younger, but I definitely did. I think what's the significant, it's just laziness. It's just like, no, I'm right. I don't want to think about this anymore. I'm right about it. That's all it is. Okay, hey, we got our trees painted in. Good job, everybody. Okay, let's wash our brush out. What we gotta do next is put some green foliage in. We're gonna paint back over some of these areas where some of our black got on top of some areas. We're gonna cover up some ends of some branches. Then we're gonna do our little moon there in the middle. Okay, let's take a shot of whiskey, okay? Doesn't whiskey sound good right now? Okay, no shot. Okay, if you want to win a free painting, I have too many paintings. I need to get rid of them. Here's your trivia question for today. Answer correctly in the comments, and I will send you a free painting of your choosing. Is it A, pancakes, B, waffles, C, French toast, D, I'm not really a sweets person, E, cinnamon rolls, F, Pop-Tarts, G, breakfast for dinner, or H, lasagna? There you go. Okay, let's keep painting. Congratulations to all of us for getting this far. I don't know what I'm saying at this point. Okay, let's take some. I'm gonna take my flat brush though, because I like flat brush. I used my round brush for the foliage earlier. Let's take my flat brush and I'll wash it out. Give it a nice washing. And I'm gonna go back to my green plate. Okay, so let's see. I still got some blue on this plate. Let's take a little scoop of blue, put it here, and some yellow. Now we've got some green. Okay, now what we're gonna do is, what I want to do here is I want to take this and kind of cover up. Ooh, I need more yellow. That's a little too blue. Looks different than my earlier green. Try to match your green from earlier, but you know, as long as it's, you could even do your adds, you know, make more of a darker green maybe. I don't know. You know, I don't even know what I'm talking about at this point. But I'm gonna basically cover up the ends of my tree limbs here. Okay, see that? Ooh, oh. Now I'm gonna stick kind of. If I look at the areas where it's a lighter green, and here's my lighter green in this one. It's kind of towards the top, so I'll kind of put that in there. I'll do my darker greens in a minute. But let's just go through and start covering up some of the tips of the tree limbs that shouldn't be covering up, like right here. That shouldn't be in front. We want that. We want that foliage in front. You know, maybe right in. Well, that's kind of a dark green. Maybe right in here. That's a good spot. There we go. Light green. Cover up the ends of those. Let's cover up the ends of that. Now that's good because it's kind of behind there. What do we got here? That's kind of a darker greens in here, so we'll come back to that. Okay, here's a light green spot. Cover up the ends of those. Here we go. There's another spot. You know, right here, Mabes. Let's put maybe right there. Yeah, it's pretty friggin' good. Okay, let's do a dark green now. Let's take more blue. Ooh, more blue. A little bit of black. Now we'll go with our dark green. Now here, I want this to cover up this part of that branch and this branch. I don't want it to cover up that part of that tree. Okay, so now I'm going with my dark greens and going to the bottom parts of these foliages and cover up some more parts of branches that I want to cover up. You know, right in here is a lot of dark greens. So maybe in here. Now another cool thing you could do is you could put some, you know, back in front. Maybe down here. Oh, there's a little bit of, oh, boom, some dark greens kind of covering up the bottom of that tree, okay? I could take some dark greens. Now I want to cover up this for sure. Because that's in front, right there. Ooh, you know, I need some light green for that. Okay, but that's kind of your next step, is start going back in, thinking about what's in front, what's behind. Now that might have been wrong, but whatever. Down here at the base of these little tiny trees, that's another thing I'm going to kind of mix up. Now, I might mix up here and there, kind of, you know, spreading over back and forth, okay? Maybe I'll cover up a little part here. Maybe I'll cover up a little bit there. Maybe I'll cover up the bottom there. Maybe I'll cover up a little middle section. It's a nice, big, foggy mess of foliage. Foliage. Great word. One of the best words ever, foliage. I'm going to put in my top 3, probably all-time words, foliage. Okay, I think that's most of the green. Okay, so let's wash our brush out. Let's see. Oh, Jonathan's back. Jonathan's in. Do you want to win a free painting? Today's trivia question is, This. Okay, we have okay, breakfast for dinner. Good guess, good guess. Okay, let's go back to our moon now. Now what we want to do here is we're going to add our yellow and our orange and our light and some white. Mix that in. We're going to make another light yellow, orangish yellow mixture. It's not the right brush. And then we're going to put the moon in. And I think that's it. Yeah. Yeah. There's still so much green in here. Every so often I'll take a paper towel and kind of take that, smush it in the middle. Oh yeah, there's still tons of green in there. Okay, I'm going to keep washing my brush. I need to take another shot. Oh, one more shot. I'm in double digits. Here we go. Come on, you stupid brush. Dude, washing brushes is the worst. It's my least favorite thing to do about painting. Okay, take a shot. What do you mean, what's the question? Isn't it obvious? Look, if you don't get it, just get out of here. Cheers. Look, Johnny, just give it a guess, all right? Johnny, you're kind of being an asshole right now. Breakfast for dinner's already been guessed. You got to pick another one. What you see is what you know. What you know is that everything. You can't pick breakfast for dinner. It's already been picked. Okay, frick off, Joel. Okay, wait, what's been picked? I think French toast has been picked. I know breakfast for dinner's been picked. Okay, cinnamon rolls. Jonathan says cinnamon rolls. Okay. Okay, what was I doing? Okay, moon. All right, let's get some yellow and some of my... What was that? Okay, let's mix some orange yellow and some yellow together here. Let's mix these two colors together. It's going to be just a really yellowy orange. And let's take some white. My white. Okay, and let's mix a nice little mixture there of that. Uh-oh. Is there still some green in my brush? Freaking green, oh my god. Okay, let's go. Now once we get this light color, what we're going to do is we're going to fill this in. We're going to put some little white, my white. Put some white dots in there. Let's go ahead and take our light color. Alright, here we go. Okay. Now let's take some white. And what I want to do now is I want to take some white and kind of start in the middle. Now remember, this is the moon. So we're going to start speckling in some white. Imagine these are craters. This is why it's so textured up. Because it's craters. See is what you know. It's kind of up to you how much you want to dab in the white. I would play with it. But don't be too hard on yourself. Every so often, take a step back from your painting and look at it from a distance. It's probably not as bad as you think it is. A lot of people are like, oh, my painting is so bad. But they're like right here. If you step back and look at it, you'll probably be surprised at how it looks. You know, a lot of people just, they just are looking at it so close that they don't really see what it looks like from us. And Johnny, listen. I was doing great before you came in, you know? Okay, John? You can come in here and give me shit. I mean... Look, do I come into your house and tell you how to raise a child? No. Do I come into your house and tell you how to raise a baby? No, and I never will. Hey, we finished our painting. Yeah, I bet you would like that. do your job for you. Okay, let's see. What was my trivia question? Well, the correct answer was I'm not really a sweets person. Okay, you guys don't know me at all, obviously. But I don't think anyone guessed that. So, let's see. Who guessed that's never won one? Colin says C. We're going to give it to Colin. Congratulations. French toast. I actually don't like French toast. I'm going to be honest. I'm not a sweets person. In real, like, seriously, I'm not. French toast is... I don't like pancakes. Waffles might be my favorite. I don't know. So actually, maybe cinnamon rolls. If I'm going to eat something. Pancakes fucking suck. I don't understand pancakes. They're terrible. Well, cake in general. Let's not get into it. But winner today is Colin. Congratulations. Okay, let's take I'm gonna sign my name. Now let's take I'm just gonna take some black. Take my little tiny baby small round brush. And let's take that and let's just sign our name somewhere down there, hidden a little bit. Boom. Okay, and let's paint the bottom edge. Johnny, you could have won one if you weren't such a hostile person, okay? You're toxic. Has anyone ever told you you're toxic? What do you mean now we know it's... Oh, because of the signature, yeah. Once you sign it, you can sell for millions of dollars. That's the key to painting. To making money, sign it. Once you sign it, it's worth millions of dollars. Okay, well, we painted a painting, didn't we? And I got drunk. I'm going to take another shot. Thanks for watching. I wish someone had watched all of Squid Games. I could have talked to you about it because I've got a lot of things to say about it. So, if anyone wants to talk to me about Squid Games, please contact me. In the next week, I'll probably be over it in a week or so, but, if you want to talk about Squid Games, I want to say how much... I want to critique the hell out of it with you. It was cool, but, there's a lot of things that I'm kind of like, how is this... Whatever, Thank you for watching, everybody. Bike trip, happy smile. Maybe if you'd have guessed a thing, I probably would have given you a painting, but... I don't know if you are like 6 years old and you just can only do pictures, or if you know how to type words, but thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Cheers, everybody. Next week, I'm going to try to make a new painting. I'm working on making some new paintings. It's coming. Also, they want me. I can be a Twitch affiliate now, so I might do that. So I might not be on Facebook as much, but I will post a link on Facebook. It's just another website to watch. It's just watching me on Twitch. It's another website. But I might do that. I might start streaming twice a week. And yeah, so keep trucking, everybody. I'll see you later. Bye.